Hi, I'm Jared with Red Wing here on Dodge Street in Omaha. I'm with the Nitty Professor today, and we're going to be taking a 3D and dynamic scan of feet. So first we'll have you step right up here on this white machine.
Okay.
Feet inside the white rectangles, don't cover up any of the black circles. And this will just take about 10 seconds here.
Okay.
Almost done. Just wanting us to scan again here real quick.
I hope it likes my socks.
It does. It likes socks. It'll work just fine. Perfect. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the dynamic scan.
Okay.
And so like I said, so what we'll do on this pad right here is you just walk, step with one foot in the middle, and then walk past. Perfect. And then turn around and go with the other foot. And we're going to do it 2 more times for each foot.
2 more times.
Yep.
Can it tell I have fake hips?
We'll see.
That's why I need those heritage boots. You know, I gotta be aligned.
Absolutely.
It's very important. Quality footwear.
Perfect. Okay. Oh, it actually wants us to do one more on the right side. One more with the right foot, please.
The right foot. That's the one that has the arthritic.
Oh, maybe it caught on.
Probably so. It's like, what's going on with that swelling?
Perfect. Okay, here, I'll hand you this, and then I can walk you through the scans. Okay, so first, this is going to be the dynamic scan that we took. So this white line that you're going to see here is your preferred movement pathway. You can see a little bit of a dotted line running through. That's going to be your center line.
Okay.
So we'll see as the darker color is your higher pressure, and then it'll show us how your arches flex as well. So there's step 1, step 2, and step 3.
Wow.
Now it overlays all 3 steps, and then so it shows us that we carry a lot of heel pressure, and then we definitely have some pressure up in the front as well. And so you can kind of say, you were saying you have some arthritis through the ball of the foot, up on the right foot?
Yep.
Absolutely.
My feet are abused.
Yeah.
I do a lot.
Yeah.
I'm a busy girl.
Stay busy, absolutely. So it shows us here that we've got, shows us the difference between our heel pressure and our forefoot pressure. So we definitely carry a little bit more heel pressure on the right foot, and then you can see you've got a little bit more forefoot pressure back there as well.
Okay.
And then the dynamic arch index basically tells us how much your arch flexes when you walk.
Huh.
And so at a lower dynamic arch index is telling me that you've got a little bit of some stiffer arches as you're walking through.
Age.
That'll do it, absolutely. So then here, this is the first scan that we did on that white machine right there. So this is that 3D image of your feet. And then this actually gets emailed to you as well when you come in and get a scan done.
Cool.
So putting you actually kind of about a 9.5.
Right, that's my Brannick size.
Yep. And so in the heritage would make sense why you were talking about that you're about a 9D in that
Exactly,
heritage. So down about a half size.
90% always works.
So 9.5.
Except with helm.
Pretty even between the two. So 9.7 on the left, 9.6 on the right.
Look at that width. E?
Yep, a little bit wider. So D is a standard width in the men's sizes, and then
I told you I had wide feet for a while.
absolutely. And like you were saying, you do a lot of walking, and so those feet kind of want to flatten out and walk.
They get bigger as you age too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't used to be this big. Then I had kids.
Yep, and I heard that's the thing as well.
That wrecked it.
Yep, absolutely. We've got our arch height in here, so kind of medium arches as far as the feet go.
Okay.
So right foot kind of a little bit towards the lower side on the medium. And then we can see our instep here as well. So the instep is actually a little bit lower. And so when you're talking about a 9D as well, we have to think of the foot as a 3-dimensional object, right? Like the Brannick measures length and width, but we've got to understand how tall
the volume
the foot is. Exactly.
Yeah, my son has really low volume feet, and he struggles with that. His feet are way thinner than mine.
Okay.
So at Nick's, they said, "Oh, you should get a B," and I was like, "Whoa," because he's like 6'2". But
yeah. And that's the interesting thing is because you can measure at a wide if you're looking at the top part of your foot, but if you have a shallower instep, the material doesn't have to be pulled up as high when you're lacing up those shoes.
Right.
Likewise, the inverse is true. So if you were at maybe a D width, but you had a really, really high instep, we might need to fit you in a wider shoe.
Right.
Because as we're pulling everything up, the material needs to be pulled up higher, so it's going to kind of suck everything in on the sides.
Right. That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, they close up so tight that there's like hardly any space between the sides of the is that what the vamp?
Yep, right there across the top.
Yeah.
And so then it shows heel width as well, so a little bit narrower.
Yeah, mine are a bit narrow. Sometimes I have heel slip. I have to watch that.
Which is more common. Women are typically going to have narrower heels than men anyways.
Yep.
And it's actually, as Red Wing sizes shoes, kind of men's versus women as well, they actually in the work, they're getting into more women's lasts, which have narrower heels and actually wider up in the front in the toes.
I think we've determined that my feet are non-binary.
Yeah, they're
They're
work across
manly
the
up
board,
front
huh?
and womanly in the
There you go, exactly. So then the last thing with this scan that it'll do, it actually comes in and it'll pull up some different sizing recommendations for things.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool because it'll show different things, but depending on what the shoe
per
is.
shoe. Because Iron Rangers always get an 8.5.
Yep. So let's see if
The blacksmiths, I got a 9, and they're a little big, but I have 8.5 merchants, they're too little, and so.
All right. So let's see here. So we're gonna go heritage. So you can see right here. So it's saying if you wore a 9.5, you can see it might be a little snug in the ball of the foot area, but it's going to be roomy in the toes, roomy in the instep, and it should fit pretty good in the back.
Okay.
And so it actually has some different percentages that basically people with feet shaped to yours, about 51% go with that 9.5, 44% say that might be a little bit.
Well, I got to disagree because I have 9s across the board,
Yep.
and they fit great.
Yep, perfect.
So,
and then,
so this is just a guideline,
Yeah,
but it's a
absolutely.
good starting point.
Absolutely, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's we always use this as just a way to get going, and then we can always size and figure out what fits best for you as well.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well,
And
this has been really informative.
Thank you.